Hi y'all, I'm Kieran. I'm going to be demonstrating to you today the DBT skill TIPP. Now, this skill, I want to give credit, and it comes from Marshall Linehan's DBT curriculum, which is a cognitive and behavioral approach incorporating dialectics to create support for those dealing with a wide range of mental health concerns. Now, this skill, TIPP, it uh, targets panic and anxiety attacks, or any of those kind of high anxiety situations which you are having trouble dealing with. I'm going to go through three of these. The first would be cold temperature, shocking the body. Second is intense exercise, which is using that excess energy that can be experienced in a manic or high anxiety situation. Third is paced breathing, a more common and easy to use method for dealing with those panic situations. And then finally, paired muscle relaxation, which is something that we will not be talking about today. The first thing I wanted to cover is this intense temperature aspect. So for this activity, in terms of this, we'll need a large bowl of water here and a plethora of ice. So the main premise of this is you're using what's called the Mammalian Dive Reflex, which is this is kind of a learned response, an evolutionary response to jumping into cold water, essentially. So this slows down your heart rate, slows down your internal functions, and can really bring that anxiety down to a more manageable level where you feel less panicked, manic, anxious, etc. So first what I'm going to do is I've got a pretty full thing of water here, and I'm going to dump in the majority of this ice. Obviously you don't need this much ice, but this is what kind of pretty helpful in terms of really solidifying that you have a cold experience. Second, you want to have your phone or another timer out. If you're really anxious and you can't get to a timer, this is less imperative. But just main thing is you want to be able to have a timer. So for this, you'll need a timer for about 30 seconds. Then you'll submerge your head completely. You will not breathe at all. You'll hold your breath, close your eyes, and submerge your head completely so all of your orifices, your mouth, your nose, your eyes are covered. And you want your head to be lower than your hips because, of course, you're emulating this dive. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate it. So I may look a bit crazy. Important things to know about that. So if you have any health issues, asthma, anything like that that prevents you from holding your breath or exposure to this, you should really talk to your doctor about that and get kind of a sense of what you can adapt this with. Another thing is it's common for you to not be able to hold for that 30 seconds. It's pretty challenging. Pushing yourself to hold for longer will decrease your heart rate more and create a more calm state because you're breathing less and your body's adapting to that. But those are just a couple adaptations. You can also do it a second time if you're still feeling pretty anxious. After that 30 seconds, do another kind of round of 30 seconds, and that can be really helpful. Secondly, intense exercise. So I won't necessarily demonstrate this today, but it's essentially to use that excess stored energy in kind of a manic, panic, anxious situation and kind of make that physical in terms of energy. Sprinting, dancing, running, jumping jacks, swimming, just kind of any like high heart rate exercise to increase that heart rate really high and use that excess energy. Kind of the opposite of the cold ice water bath. Even though these are kind of opposites, they still work very effectively for a panic situation. You could also do like jumping jacks, burpees, anything like that. Third is paced breathing, and then Uh, so with paced breathing, people often use the box method. So essentially holding for 5 seconds, breathing in for 5 seconds, holding for 5 seconds, then breathing out for 5 seconds. Um, I found that to be especially effective, but another kind of adaptation to that that's pretty helpful sometimes is um, making your exhale a bit longer than your inhale. So kind of it would be more of like uh, trapezoid, if that makes sense. So I would uh, breathe in for uh, breathe in for 5. I'd hold. I'd breathe out for 7. Then I'd hold for 5. And then so on and so forth. So you want to keep on doing that until you are feeling a bit more regulated and you're breathing, you're kind of catching your breath in a panic situation, where it's quite challenging to catch your breath. Um, so overall, these skills are used in these panic situations where you feel like you cannot have control over the situation, or your physiological response to the situation is just getting so unmanageable that it's challenging to even make a behavior change or take care of yourself in any way. So this is kind of a method to kind of start the process of uh, of responding to this anxiety. And I hope that by using temperature intense exercise or paced breathing, you'll be able to find new ways to manage your panic symptoms. Thank you.